Hi, I'm Jeff Shomei, and I'm doing another live coding session. I had done a video before about trying to make the narration for my narrative engine a little more dynamic. I wanted to be able to have more than one just phrase that a narration would say and be able to give a list so that every time you interact with something, you could get more different varieties of what story was told every time you clicked on it. And it didn't go too well. It got really messy. Things weren't working. You can see I've got this really ugly compilation error. So I'm going to try to whip it into shape now, and we'll see what happens. So these were the main places that I was focusing. There's this big update function that has this part in here that's going to try to update the state from the rules if it can find a matching rule. And then depending on what happens, it gets into here and has to do a default or not if it did match a rule. And I've added this part with the rule so that there's this way of matching. If a rule does match, then it'll keep track of how many times that rule was matched, and that allows us to know which index of narration to say. This is the other part of that. So find matching rule, which goes through a bunch of rules and tries to find one. And if it does, then it returns this rule, which I've also added in the index of the rule. And I have this function that figures out which part of the narration list to use. So I think this can be changed. I'm thinking that before, I thought it would be appropriate to have this part of figuring out which part of the rule to, or which part of the narration to choose be in here. I'm thinking that I should move that out of here. I think I might just grab all this and just say, move it from there. For now, I'm just going to paste it here so I don't lose it. That's not the right place. Somewhere around there. And my thought is find matching rule. It should just do that. It should try to find the rule. And so forget this list of commands and the string and all that. It's just going to return if it found a rule, the index that it was at, and the rule that it found. So that, much simpler. Get rid of this. We don't need to do this find what to say stuff here. That's just too much complication. We're just going to do that part of it. So yeah, find matching rule. It gets the description, or it gets the information that it needs to match against the rules. It's going to go through a list of rules in order and find one or not. Now I had passed through this description, which now that we've moved that part out, we don't need, which is one thing that I like about getting rid of it. And I have this index, which basically was a way of just tracking which rule matched. It's maybe not the best way of doing it. It's a little bit brittle. I could just use the rule as a key itself because you can match arrays, compare arrays together, or in this case it'd be a record. You can compare records, but I think that this is good enough for now. Just have a simple rule index, which is really just an int. We'll leave it at that. So there we go, find matching rule. Give it some stuff and maybe you get a matching rule, which is the index that matched and the actual rule. Now mechanics over here where we use it, find matching rule. So try to update from the rules. Try to update is going to do that find matching rule, start it off at 0. I can get rid of that description now, which is nice. It needs the thing that you clicked on, and the current scene is the list of rules that is active. It needs a story state, and it can do its thing and find a rule. And now I'm doing this maybe then part here, which I kind of want to just switch out. I'm going to pull this out to its own function. I'm going to call this update from rule. I'm going to get rule index and a rule. I'm not sure if that's right, but maybe it is. Let's see. This might not even be right either. I just need to figure out what I need to do with my types. So try updating from rules. I'm going to change that to find matching rule. Now, find matching rule is actually what the other thing is called as well. So let's see. Maybe current scene, state. I don't want to call it the same thing. What do I want to call it? What this is doing, it is just trying to find a matching rule. What do I call this? Find rule to update from. Good enough for now. This guy takes displayable story state and returns that maybe with the rule index and the rule that we were talking about. Now this guy, this business, let me jump down to where I use that. This whole thing is a huge mess. Basically, I want to do something different. If I've clicked on an interaction or a location or a character, the only thing that's different is the defaults, and that's the default part of it. I'm just gonna simplify this whole thing. Get rid of that. I want to keep the defaults around. I'll come back to it later. The default is important here. This whole business, I'm going to do something else with. I don't know what. Something. This is basically the update story state part of this. I don't know what it takes yet. That's good enough for now. Uh-oh. I took too much. That little guy was supposed to go. Wait. I took too much. Oh no. Put the location down here. What was he supposed to do? Oh, that's the part. There we go. Yeah, that's good. So for updating, like I said, this whole big thing is just my update function. There's all these little pieces that know how to update a part of the story state. They update the storyline, update the current location, update a list of things that we've interacted with. There's these helpers that can get a name and a description based on what you've clicked on. Here's this part that can find a rule. It's just delegating out to that other find matching rule that we looked at. And then when that matches, let's see, I'm going to leave this part here for now. Update story state has this, update from rule, doesn't do anything at all. So this advanced story part is important because that does, what does it do? That takes a list of commands and a narration, and it goes through all the commands and changes the state correctly based on which command you give it. And then it also folds in that last piece of narration that you give it. So we definitely need to run that. And we need to give it the right piece of narration, which is going to be a string. So we have to find the right string before we can give it to this. I'm going to just take this line, get rid of this. So the updating, I'm going to sketch here. Updating needs to do a few things. First, it needs to know, did we find a rule? I'm just going to go like this. If so, then update based on the rule. And it's going to be get narration, and that would be the narration that we use. Also update the index of the rule that matched. Update rule matches, because it matched a rule, and so we want to put that in as an index so that we know how many times we've matched it. If no, then we do default update. And then along with this, we want to do always add direction to add whatever you've interacted with to the list of things that you've already interacted with. And I use that elsewhere. I think those are all that we need to do. And that's what this nonsense was trying to do before. Add familiarity is this part. Find rule to update from was that. This thing was updating from that rule. And the nothing part was the default. So I'm going to try to express this like this, and I'm going to do this matching only for the default. In fact, what I think I can do is name this. What do I need to do here? Default update. It's going to take an displayable and what does it do with that? Does it need anything else? Story state, I think it has. I think that's all it needs. Do its thing. Message, we'll have to deal with this later. Displayable. I'm going to get rid of this one, too much. Get rid of interact for now. I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm just going to move it up as another let defined method. And now this is your regular update. Let's see. So this update is in a place that only has one message that it knows what to do with, and that is interact. So all I have to do is, I don't need to do this actually, I can do update message. We know what it's going to be. There's only one type, so interact with a displayable. There we go. Now we've got a displayable. That's interesting. So everywhere that I use this, that's going to be different, I think. No, that's fine, actually. Displayable. So now I have it up there. I don't need it in here. Because I can to-name a displayable and to-description it, and it'll figure it out. Don't need that. I do need the case matching here. Array, don't need that. Displayable. To-name. So again, here's where it knows how to do that. Description. Where else do I have a displayable? Don't need it there. Actually, you know what? I bet that story state is passed in here, so I don't even need story state here, which means I don't even need any of this. I'm just going to get rid of it. This is all that we have to do. Find matching rule. Find matching rule is going to look like did we get it? Then update from matching rules. Or wait, did we get a rule? What else can I do? Is there more displayable stuff to get rid of? No, that's good. Better already. Leave that part out. Default date. Don't need that again. Size all messed up. Nothing can auto format yet, but that's fine. It'll get there soon enough. Default update. Cool. So this little bit of logic is essentially what I want to do in my in. Get rid of that. This is just hanging out. This is probably all old. I'll just put it there. So in. Back to what I had. Did we get a rule? Matching rule. That's the first thing we want to do. We have all of this that we need to pass into it. And I'm realizing, yeah, that's fine. Sorry, go back to where I was. So we've done this, and what's going to come out of that? Take a look at this. It's going to be that maybe tuple. So let's just keep naming these functions. I think it's a lot easier than doing them inline here. So this first function is going to be, I think I can do maybe with default. So the default is no branch, right? So the default is going to be, what did I call? Default update. Cool. And the other side of that was, so this is a maybe. If it's nothing, it's going to default update. Otherwise, this changes it into whatever was in the gist. So we can type that through, although I don't want to do that actually. So never mind, that's not how we want to do this. We're going to do a little lambda thing here. So from the find matching rule, we get the rule index and we get the matching rule. And up with that thing, actually do a case statement. So case matching rule of, sorry, that's not even what that looks like. This right here is going to be the maybe part of this. So maybe rule, that matching rule, case matching rule of nothing. Then we do the default update otherwise, just paste this in now, and now that name is already used. If we haven't found it, then we need to do some work. We need to do, what was this? Oh yes, we need to get the narration. And we will need to do this, but this guy needs the narration, and we don't know what narration is yet. Is that defined anywhere? No, narration's nowhere. So that's cool. We will narration. We need to figure out what that narration is going to be. It's going to be a string. We don't know how we get it yet. Right there. Where was I? So narration, we'll get that. That takes care of that. And that, update the row matches, that's good. That's done, that's done. So now there's always piece. So what I'm thinking is I can just take this, add familiarity. Add familiarity takes, I don't even know why it's taking a story state. It doesn't need that. It doesn't even need that. Oh, I think the reason it has that is because it's actually, that's a new story state, what it is. So these are the pieces that they're gonna do a change. Although if that comes first, so in the case of add familiarity, it doesn't really matter. But in the case of go to location and default narration, those are things we're going to do later. So we want to update whatever's passed into it, not whatever's passed in at the very top. If that makes sense. Add familiarity. What does it need to do? So it knows displayable. Does it need anything else? Oh yeah, I was gonna move this up. So this says it's passing in an item, but I'm pretty sure that add familiarity is just a displayable. Yeah, it is. Cool. So that doesn't, we don't have to, whatever our displayable is what we can use. So if we want this to always happen, we can just do this first thing. So I'll just do that. I'll just start off by add familiarity of whatever the displayable was, and then that's going to give us back a story state. So we pipe that story state into find matching rule, which means we can knock off that pin right there. The current scene won't have changed, so that's fine. In fact, it doesn't even matter if the familiarity is different, but this will work. That it'll sort of flow through all this. This will give us, let's see, a matching rule. If it doesn't work, we do the default update. Now we don't want the default update actually to use the story state that was passed in originally, because we've already changed it. So new story state. I give it the new story state, and that means our default update here needs the new story state that came out of here. Find matching rule takes a story state, but it doesn't give back a story state. So it's not going to flow through is the problem. So we can do, what we really want is a monad here, but I don't know how to do that syntax. I think I'll just have to do this with a lambda, and this is where things start to get messy. New story state. Right, because add familiarity, all that it does is give us a new story state back. Update, I think I'll leave that down there for now, but I might be done with it. That part's basically done now. Add familiarity, displayable, gives us a story state. This is what comes out of that. This guy runs this, which will give us the matching rule. And the question is new story state in scope down here? So where is it? Must find a new state. I don't know where it's completing that. So new story state, I think that that is still going to be in scope. Believe it will be, because this is coming from this. Like this is basically inside of this lambda, even though it doesn't exactly look like it. Matching rule. If it's nothing, then we do the default update and we're done. Otherwise, we need to do this thing, and we have to find the narration, which we will do later. But that's done. I'm just going to delete all that nonsense, save, and Elm format doesn't know what to do. Probably because I messed up all of my indentation. I think that's better. What's going on here? So indentation is really wrong. This stuff I will have to use, but not yet. I'll get back to that. So my indentation is at character or column 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. This guy's not enough. So we indent him. There it goes. Format worked. And now we'll fix these problems so it doesn't know what description is, which is fine because I have a this guy right here, to description. I have to pass in my displayable, which is the thing that you clicked on. That should work, and I can just do the same exact thing here. That works. You know what? To description. Oh, I don't need to pass that in. So if I can just do, I'm gonna put this back the way it was. My description. It's the way that I wanted it to be. And to description. Call that description right now, because we don't have to call it with anything. Way better. Likewise, same with name. There we go. We've got one issue. What is it? Changes. Right. So because I'm passing back the entire rule right now, I don't need displayable, doesn't need a name. Sorry, everywhere I've done this, I do not need to. that's good enough. And then that was the other description. Where did I see that? Here it is. Cool. So this, no, I changed what this was from before, where I was pattern matching out changes. So all I need to do is say rule.changes and narration, which is basically rule.narration, except that that's going to be a string, or a list, not a string. Is that what's complaining? I don't know if that's what's complaining, but that's definitely a problem. So I need to fix that. I'm going to just call this get narration. I'll pass in rule.narration. And then instead of narration here, this will be get narration. And it's going to take a list of strings and maybe a back string. Okay, that's somewhat decent. What's the problem here? Default narration. What kind of argument was given to? Oh, right. Default narration. The item. I was passing the item in. Do I need to pass in the thing that it's getting? Default narration. It already knows the description, so no, it doesn't need that. So cool, we can simplify that. This is simplifying nicely. Default narration. Doesn't need a new state, and then that gets new state. That's better. Likewise, go to location. Pretty sure I'm going to need that. Location, yeah, it knows what's up. Now, there's 3 issues. Some of them, which one is this guy pointing to? I'm probably going to need that. So what's going on here? Add familiarity. It's expecting the argument to be a new story state. Right, that's fine. We'll do that. This story state, let's see. This is the story state that's coming in. So this is the first thing that happens. So I'm not going to worry about it because the actual story state, I'll just do it here just to be safe. Add familiarity, story state. So I should take care of that one. Right. I don't need to get rid of displayable because it knows what that is. Cool. We're down to just one issue other than that warning. What is this? The right side, expecting the argument to be story state and a maybe, and it gets an E, but so this guy's not dealing with any story state. Which one is this? It must be this one down here. Why? That's weird that it's saying that. So it's expecting the right argument to take a story state and then this may be of the rule. But the right argument is something that takes that maybe rule and returns our scene. So it thinks that it should be getting a story state, which surprises me. Let's see. I might be able to write this with that default way. Maybe with default state story state. Wow, totally in my way. Get out of the way. There. Otherwise, come on. So that would get rid of this. Sort of get rid of this. Cool. Yes, maybe that's better. Hold on. It's probably going to be lots of complaints still. I think it does the same thing. So from the end familiarity, we get a new story state, and then we can find all this and pipe that into the maybe with default, which if there's nothing, it just gives us the default update. And if it is something, then that'll pull out what this is, and we can do what we have to do. Seems good to me. What's the problem? It's the same error, right? Almost the same error. So it's expecting a story state and maybe rules, and saying the right-hand side is maybe this right here is my story state, and it gives you maybe a story state. So advanced story is going to return a story state, which is good. That's what we want. Default update should also be returning a story state. So what happens? Yeah, those guys return a story state. I think I'm going to write an annotation for this. Story state. I have this right there somewhere. So give me an old one, and I give you a new one. That's cool. We're still upset. Wonder why this says maybe story state and this doesn't. They should both be a story state. Don't know if that matters. So put story state and then a maybe. It's the same thing. It's expecting story state first, or sorry, a maybe story state, and then this. So what's, I'm typing something wrong. Add familiarity. I'm going to write type definition for this too. Add familiarity. Why is that not telling me what it does? And familiar story state, it'll give me a new story state, which is this. This guy gets piped into find matching rule. Find matching rule gives me, oh, it's not been called with enough things. That's what's going on. This guy needs the new story state. There we go. That should clear up something. Maybe we'll index to E, but it thinks it's getting a maybe story state, or oh, right, because the default update takes a let's see, advanced story wants a string, a story state, a list of changes, another string, and then it also wants a the story state. That's what I'm missing. No story state. There we go. Oh, I thought that would make it better. Made it worse. Hold on. Main story. How can I do this without the linter bugging me? Event story takes a name, story state, a list of changes, the string, which is the narration. Oh, and then, of course, it returns one of those. Sorry. Enter back. Okay. What is this? Still thinks that the right side is getting a story state instead of the what find matching rules returns. Seems like this isn't getting called with enough. So this takes the rule index, which is 0, displayable, a list of rules, which is the current scene, and a story state, and it returns a maybe. Because why? What is going on? There are other issues. Imagine those will clear up when I fix this one. Find matching rule. What is going on? Why are you causing trouble? The right side, the argument, it's expecting it to be that, which is true, but it actually is maybe a story state. So the right-hand side of this, which one is this complaining about? Is it maybe with default that it's complaining about? What does maybe with default look like? That for a second. Maybe with default says you give it an A, which is this. You give it a maybe a. Oh, that's why, because the thing that I give it has to be the thing that comes into it. Yeah, I can't like mix and match these guys. That's the problem. Let's see, what can I do about that? This is weird because I'm going from story states to a not story state thing. So maybe I can't use this maybe with default syntax. Because the thing that I pump into this has to be the thing I pump out of it, and it's definitely not going to be the case. So maybe I have to go back to a case statement, which I didn't want to do, but let's just try it. Case this of nothing is default update. Just that. All right. That's good. Actually, that even looks a lot cleaner, so I'm happy with that. So we do the familiarity, which gives us a new story state, which we then try to find a rule, and based on the outcome of that, we either do our default thing or we do this thing. That seems good. be nice if I could get rid of this somehow. And I could just do that inline here, but that's a little confusing. I could also do this, like do this first. Let's try something. So, oops, copy all that. Move this guy down to later. And about whatever's coming out of that way. It's in my way. And this is not even needed. Save that. Cool. That's just story state. Oh, but now, nope. This guy needs to go off of the whole thing. Is that any cleaner or not? So that says do this whole matching thing, and then when you're done, add the familiarity. I don't know if that's cleaner or not. That or familiarity in this. I'm going to say this is a little bit cleaner. Not extremely, but somewhat. Yeah, it's also nice that all the story states that are in here don't need, they can just be the story state that was passed in originally. And then this guy is the one that has the new story state on him. All right, that's good enough. We've got one warning, which we're going to need that soon. You'll see why. And then we got this problem. So what is this problem? Let's see. This is saying, what is this? It looks to me like this is that big ugly problem that I had when I first started. How can I fix this? So, we're going to have to really look at these type variables. So there's going to be a change in Elm soon where the variables that I typed are going to be the variables that show up here. That will make this a lot easier. Unfortunately, we have to deal with this right now. So the problem here is that the variables are not lining up. And so how do we figure out what the difference is? Oh my goodness. The story state that comes out looks like it matches with the story state that goes in. I'm guessing that only because the IHJ lines up with what's in here, just like the BCDE lines up with what's in here. But the, let's see, CEA lines up just as these do, CEA. So the only question is, why are these CEA and these IHGJ? It seems like the variables of the story state that comes in are different than the variables of the story state that goes out. That's confusing. So in other words, however one of these is being used, yes, however this is being used is different than whatever's coming out of this. And that is confusing. That guy should be fine. This guy too, I think, is fine. Maybe not. So this message can only be an interact. Interact item location character. The interact by displayable. I think that's fine. And then the story state. Oh, this is a tough one to track down. This is really tough. Once we track this down, we have to figure out how to get the narration. And I mean, this should actually work the way it is, but it could, we might have to look at that. Definitely like how everything is in here. This guy stays clean. The find first matching rule does exactly what it says. This is a lot cleaner, pulling this out here. Definitely better. But what do I do with this? This is so confusing, this one. I'm gonna have to go in about 15 minutes, so I better figure this out quick. Oh, what's the problem here? Let's see, location. I noticed that my location doesn't need a color. So maybe that's a place to start. Maybe it doesn't mean anything, but maybe that's something. Let's see. Nothing jumped out at me. Let's see. I guess one way to debug this in these really tricky cases is to just get rid of things and see if anything changes. No. So that part's probably fine. So that perhaps it is this part. Instead of advanced story, just return the, let's see, don't change anything, doesn't look like it. Okay. So it's possible that means everything down here is fine. Let's try skipping this whole part. Surely this will be fine. Interesting. 3 issues. Just another thing that we don't need, but okay, this is different. Maybe this will help. Annotation saying story world message, story state, story state. But I'm inferring. So this is what a story world looks like for the most part, except that locations should give back a color. It's gotta be something to do with that color. I don't know why those are different. It's gotta be something to do with that color. What I'm gonna do is put all that back, but just do, you know what? Actually wasn't doing what I thought it was. Add familiarity of array state. And all of that. It's the same error. Yes, good. Surprised. I don't know why it would have not given me a different error when I forgot to say story state, but oh well. So the only code path that's running now is add familiarity. Add familiarity takes in the story state. Item, location, character, knowledge. Item, location, character, knowledge. Zero. Maybe there's some place where I'm just doing these out of order. I don't think that's the problem, but worth checking at least. Okay, so what does this guy do? This guy says familiar with. Fix anything? No. I still don't know why it's not saying that it needs color. I guess because I'm not using the color. Put that back. Let's see. I'm thinking the color was a red herring now, because this knows that it has a color in there, but we're not using it, so that's why it's not coming up here. It's the fact that these are different that's the problem. My message, item, location, character. And that's the same everywhere. Character. So another debugging technique is to add more type annotations everywhere. Let's try that. Default narration. Which really should be default narration. I'll take these and return one of those. So if that's where the problem was, that would have. Problem. Maybe this one. Also, no problem. This guy already has that in place. Okay, name. Nothing but return the string. Description, nothing but return a string. Aha. Lord. Only it were that simple. Last rule count, I'm not going to worry about that because it's not even called anywhere, right? Either. Last. I don't know why last is count. They seem to be special. I don't think that's a problem. It wasn't causing a problem earlier. Don't call find what to say anywhere. Update has. Narration has. Oh my goodness. What is the problem? Why is this being a problem? I'm kind of just trying things now. Okay, that added a problem here. No, that's just because To be expected. Oh, we'll have those problems. I am pretty stuck. I don't know what would happen if I passed the displayable around instead of just using whatever's here. Don't know if that would help. But still, those could be the same thing, even though they aren't. So I'm suspicious about this color difference still. As far as I can tell, that's the only difference. Going to try getting rid of possible variables. Still no problem. Ooh, that's better. Is that better? Okay. That helps prove that there's still a problem even when we don't go through that thing with the color. This is useful. So the story world has BCD. And what's interesting is this message is A, B, C. The B and the C match. So there's some misalignment here. Up here, they're in the same order. And I'm guessing that over here it's also similar. Like the B is in first position in all these places. I have a D here, which is in last position here. So maybe the story world is wrong, which doesn't make any sense, but maybe. Let's see, the D matches with the, let me go look at story world. Okay, story world doesn't help me much. Back to this. The D is in the last position of story world, which should be a character, which is all backwards. The E is not to be found, the F is not to be found, and the G is not to be found. So for some reason it thinks the D is there. These have, okay, we don't have the A, but we have the B and the C, and the D is lost. So the item on the message, it doesn't know what it is. The location of the message is lining up with the item of the story world. That's the B, but not the item of the story state. Holy cow. There's probably like one variable that I forgot somewhere, and it's making this such a pain. So let's see, can I simplify story world? Display info, where is that used? Well, it is not. Where's my update called? This should be called from story. 8. Yes, it is. Okay. This guy is called with a display info, which is item location character, a message. I wonder, you know what, I have two things called message. I have two things called message. I wonder if that's causing a problem. This message relates to, well, what does it relate to? Leave it. I guess it relates to this. Oh, here's the problem. That should be okay. Oh, gotta go soon. It was a good start, but it's getting frustrating at the end. Let's see, who else? And then a model.story state, which is item location character knowledge. Should line up with this. Okay, here's what we'll do. We will simply return story state. Clear up everything. What the heck is going on? And now we will say everything here on. Get that. Oh, no, that doesn't know what to do. And part of that as well, and that. So, okay. This will get us somewhere, because we can keep adding back little pieces until we get this error again. That's not a problem. Ooh, oh, right. Start with the top. How about that? Let me start with name and description. So good. Let's do this one. So good. Let's go to this one. Okay, there's our problem. Let's go to location. Try to get the rest of these back. Oh, that one's also a problem. How about that's fine. And just this last little bit. Go to location, which is the problem. So link default update away. And that is how you debug something really confusing. So this is the problem. As soon as we put that back, this guy gets all messed up. And it looks like it's the same problem as before. It's interesting. This is a little bit clearer, I guess. BCD, and the message, here we go, BAB. So the message is saying item, location, item, and then a C and a C. Don't know why it's saying C and C, because that's what that is. So this looks really confusing. Let's just look through it. Item, location, character knowledge, item, location, character knowledge. It takes a story state, even though this isn't called anywhere that we have revealed. Case displayable. Wonder, how is this a problem? Current location is a location. Location takes a location. What was it? That was weird. Message BAB. BAB. So it thinks that item and character are the same. So I guess I thought that this would be fine, but I can try doing item, don't care. And character, don't care. That's still complaint. Message BAB. So maybe it's not the message part that's a problem, because they could be the same as far as this is concerned. Maybe it's the story world BCD. Let's say B, and then, well, C. It says that we're retrained C, which is a character. Why does this think we're returning a character? Here we go. We're getting somewhere now. Okay, what's this say? So story state, ABCD, but they think current location is wrong. It thinks that it's a takes takes a displayable. Wait. That's not tuner. Symbol, item, location, character, knowledge. Sorry. So that fixed the problem. So by not passing in the displayable, it tries to pull it out of here, which is a, well, I would think it was displayable. Why is that a problem? I don't know, I wonder if this is what the problem is. So what happens if I do, I'm just gonna hide that for now. Step back, put this to a displayable. Oh, that's not broken. Since I put this back, it is. Whoa. I hide that, and this is good again. Okay, so it's not the displayable, that's the problem. That's weird. That's very weird. Why is this a problem? Because this is the same thing, right? Same exact thing. Takes a story state, returns a story state, or crashes, as it were. This is a problem when I didn't have this. Okay, I put the book. So with that, save. Oh, a second ago that was fine. Wait, there we go. So I guess I can't do. Now that's fine too. So what the heck was wrong with it? The annotation definitely breaks it. Definitely breaks it. Hiding the annotation. What's that? Cool. We found the problem, but we don't understand it. I mean, I'm fine just not annotating it. I'm curious why. New story state must not have something in it. Oh, match rules. All right, let me run through this again. Current location C. Oh wait, C and C. Clashing with itself or a sub annotation. That's so crazy. Location. What if I here say X to X? Things at the current location. Oh yeah, the current location definitely shouldn't change type. Oh, I thought I had an idea. Location. I go to story state. I go to types. Current location. What is current location? Current location is concrete type, which is what this is. I do not know why that's a problem. I'm just going to do that. So there. Now this can go. That should be another problem. Just get rid of that. Problem fixed. Huh. That's really stupid. Oh, right. Oh, that's maybe not going to help us. Let me put this guy back now. Now we have that whole problem again, but if I get rid of this, back to normal. Okay, here comes the big question. Holy moly. Looks like it worked. See? Please work. Yes. Right, because I'm still doing stuff. Cool. So now what if I put this back? Still good. Okay, how about this? Still good. Wow, that was crazy debugging. This should be a to-do still. The rest of it works. Huh. All right, well, I don't know what the heck that problem was, but now it works. So there you go. Let's see. Okay. Well, I sure am glad that that's fixed. This looks good. I do have to go, but we're so close. I'd like to get this last little bit in. I feel like this part is correct as long as it's called with the right things. This is the part that's going to need some work. So get narration. For now, let's just say head narrations. Put that into maybe with default of description. Happy. We go check out Harry, and it's going to say, my good friend Harry, which is his description, is it? No. What is that? Go to local testing. So my good friend Harry, Harry's description is that. So far that's good. If we were to just get rid of all this, which you shouldn't ever do, but if for some reason someone does it, it'll just give the description, which is cool. We're protected against that. So that's nice. I like that well enough. The next thing we have to do is just get not the head, but the right index of it. Do we know what the index is? Yes, we do. The index, I'm going to do a let. So now current rule index equals get story state match rules. I have to pass in a what does that do? What am I doing? What does get need? I forgot. I have a thing that tells me get needs a comparable. That's right, the index. Oh, index. Which means get narration needs a rule index. Which can be a rule index, not that. That's a thing. Rule index. Rule index. Broke How did I break Elm? There we go. Current index. So now I can say this dot drop current index. No. rule index, and the narrations. And we'll just pipe that into the head. We'll pipe that into maybe. Why are you upset? Int maybe int. First we're going to drop is a maybe int because that's what get returns. So we'll do maybe with default. If there isn't one, we just want the first. So there we go. Let's try it out. Oh man, this might be it. Characters here, Harry. I'm gonna click on him. It should be the first thing. My good friend Harry. I'm gonna click him again. This is the moment of truth. Oh no. Oh, right. Because we're never updating the index each time I click on it. It's just staying at nothing. So this default always. Ha. Oh, it was exciting. So let's add that. That means before we can get in there, no, after we do this, this guy returns a story state. So after return story state, we need to also add update the index state matched rule index. We'll pass in the rule index and it'll get the new state passed in. So now somewhere around here, I can do update match rules index, which takes a rule index and a story, new story state. Story state gives us back new story state, and we say match rules. Match rules equals new story state. That doesn't do anything, obviously. It's going to be new rule index. Let new natural index equals something, and that natural index equals whatever it used to be, which is going to be get rule index of that thing. Maybe with default. Oh, this is annoying. The thing keeps popping all over. The default is going to be 0 because if it's not there yet, we just want to set it to 0. If it is there, then we do, let's see, right? This needs to be insert, which will, oh wait. Yeah, it's not going to be 0 or whatever it is. We're going to insert whatever that was that came out of this. And let's insert takes a comparable and a value. So the story will index, and it takes a value, and then it takes a count and a new story state. New story state that matched rules, and that's not going to work. New count, that should work. There it goes. Let's just try it. Let's not even look at it. Let's just try it. Okay, Harry. First click, my good friend Harry. This could be it. Second click. What? Which part's not working? Something might not be quite right here. My matched rules is a dictionary. I want my dictionary to what is this? I want to insert at the rule index a new value from what the old dictionary is, which will give me back a new dictionary. That should totally work. Why does that not work? Where is it breaking down is the question. Is it not doing this? Let's see. Well, log, check it out. Dictionary from list 1 and 0. Cool. Oh, it's the same exact thing every time. Because why? Who knows? So something's happening. Let me go look at this local testing 1 because it's rule index 1, so that's correct. Oh my gosh. Cannot believe that I forgot to say this. New count. It's going to be count plus 1. Oh my gosh. Count. All right, surely this will work, and this will be amazing. Here we go, Marsh. Number 1, my good friend Harry. Number 2, I've known him since we were young. Yes. Number 3, he seems out of things to say. I'll keep trying anyways. Nope, he really is out. Oh, that's interesting. And then instead of continuing to do it, it's just going back to his description. Oh man, well, that was awesome when it was working. I don't know why this last bit isn't working. It's so close. But that's cool. The dictionary thing is working out just great. So I can get rid of my log. Probably clean this up a little too, but I'm going to leave it for now. This big update function. But that's to be expected. This is story mechanics. Let's see. What's the trouble? So my get narration. Oh yeah. So it's going to try this. That's right. I thought I had accounted for this previously. Perhaps here. Yeah, this bit. Oh, I've already written this code, huh? Well, there you go. Last row count, just count. Last. Where does this get used? Right, don't know what that is. Now it's gone. Where does last get used? Right there. I need to say not used. So I bet that I could just do find what to say. Oh yeah, this was based off of when I was looking at what is in the other file. Let's see. Here, this stuff. All that. Come on. Oh, geez. Oh, quit doing what you're doing. my cat. Only we can get the spacing to work better. All right, what's this doing? Get narration. Get narration says, oh, here we go. Look at that, same exact thing. So what if instead of get narration, I say find what to say? That makes sense, doesn't it? Find what to say. Look at that, I already had this all written and I didn't even know it. That's silly. I've known it since we were young. Oh, well, no, still, that totally didn't work. So it's a good idea, but narration and pick what we are missing. What are we missing? Let's see, get narration. So this is the part that doesn't work. I need this little thing. So this maybe was default. There's two of them with a 0. That's no good. This one's good. This one's no good. This one should be default last. Narrations. That's stupid. Why is it doing that? What's the problem here? Current index, int, maybe int. Drop is expecting the first argument to be an int. But it's a maybe. But it's maybe a. I thought that that's the whole point. Oh, wait, what does last give me? Last gives me another maybe. I'm just gonna do it like this. Head, maybe with default description, save. Oh, that's so close, but that's not it. Maybe string. Oh, right, I've already done that. Well, we're not even using this anymore, so go away. Int string. Oh, first argument being an int, but in a string. Let's drop. Oh yeah, huh. That was stupid. Current index needs to be an int. Last narrations. Last. Oh, right. So this is that thing where what if it doesn't have a. I'm not matching on empty list yet. I should do. Going to this. So find what to say. I kind of want to do that. Get narration. Do space narrations of empty list is just description. Otherwise, we do list head maybe with default, and the default is going to be whatever the last is. Maybe with this double maybe thing is silly. Get the head. If I don't have a head, then I want the last one. I think I can do this. Most default is last. And last is going to be, which, by the way, I'm moving down. I don't know why it beeps all the time. Sorry about that. Go now, I think. Last is going to give me not a maybe. It's going to give me do this thing, and if you really don't work, then give me the description. Otherwise, give me the last one. What's your problem? Int string. First argument. Int current rule index. You should be an int. Get rule story state matched rules. Get rule index. Maybe with default. So yeah, so this is where if it's not set, it should be 0. Right? Get the index. If we don't have the index, it should be 0. Better. What's the problem now? First branch is string. The next one is a list of strings to strings. What are you talking about? What's the same? The first branch is type string, which is good, but the second one needs a list of strings passed into it. Narrations. Drop. I have given it my this. That's given me a string, maybe with default last list. That's why, because last needs narrations, which we already have. So I'm just going to say need you, and list is narrations. There we go. Does this work? Finally, does it work? Hooray, my good friend. I've known him since we were young. He seems out of things to say. I'll keep trying anyways. Nope, he really is out of things to say. Here we go. Yes! It works. It works. Oh my gosh, it works. Just one more time. I messed up. Should still be fine. There it is. Boom. All right. That's it. That was a little bit rough, but not too terrible. And I'm happy with the code. This guy right here, nice and clean. This little index thing is all right. This guy, not too bad. I do like what happened with this a lot. I really like how that came out. I like how this is definitely simpler, a little bit weird, but definitely simpler. And this update rules, yeah, that's good. Get narration is good. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to change last to last narration. It's a little bit better. All this maybe with default stuff is weird. There's so many maybe with defaults, but that's fine. And so the only thing that I would have to do, one last thing, because let's just say he says, well, I don't have another scene, but if I had another scene, I would need to clear out that representation of it. So that means in my story on load scene, this isn't actually where it's going to be. Is it? Maybe it is. No, definitely not there. Mechanics. Nope. State. That's where it is. So load scene. One of these. There it is. Load scene. We just want to start it fresh. Matched rules equals empty. There we go. That's good. Let's just test that out as well. just very quickly, and then I am done. So this is going to be scene 2. Scene 2 is what that said. Scene 1 is going to be the last little bit here. Let's say interacting with the garden. Let's just say location garden. Interacting with the garden. Doesn't matter when. Just get rid of that. And what this is going to do is it's going to load scene. What's it going to say? You know what? It's not going to say anything. How about that? Scene that it loads is scene 2. I'm just going to make one more rule here so that we can actually test it out. So it's going to be interacting with Harry's already there. As soon as we go to the garden, I'm going to change this. Instead of the garden, oh wait, Harry's there. I guess we'll just say, we'll do umbrella. Conditions. Doesn't matter. Changes, no changes. All that we want this to do is say, let's see, what is the umbrella description? My umbrella. It really is a nice umbrella. Really need it. Cool, that's good. Except I did something wrong with my formatting. Don't know what I did wrong. What's the matter with you? That's better, kind of better. What? Interaction being location displayable. What the? Oh, location. That's an item. What? There it goes. Okay. And then where does it say it looks like rain? That's where when I go to the marsh. Instead, it's going to say pretty wet. Nice and green. And then when we say meet me at the marsh, he's going to say no. Rain. And then that seems good. Okay. So let's play with this. A place like umbrella. It really is a nice umbrella. It's not raining now. Don't really need it. Don't really need it. Don't really need it. As soon as I go to the garden, that's going to switch scenes. What's my garden? Oh, I forgot to take myself there. When I click on garden, I need to move to garden. I'm going to change that later to be a default. Why is that complaining? Why are you complaining about this? Move to. Move to takes a location. What's the problem? Why is a problem? Condition list of command. I really don't think that should be a problem. Why is this being problematic? Okay, what's this say? Additions list of change world. Oh wait, addition change world command. Because I put it in the wrong place is why. That's what I meant. That should totally work. There it goes. Okay. Should be the final demo, then we can go. Umbrella. Don't really need it. Garden. What a lovely garden. I'm going to take a look at my umbrella now. Actually, I don't know what it's going to say. It just says my umbrella. So there you go. Let's reset it. And there's Harry. It's green. So yeah. There we go. Umbrella working. Can I do... Let me do one more final test. Get that, comma, interacting with item. Oh, cancel item umbrella. Condition is going to be in marsh. Say, I'm glad I got it. Me. Cool. Okay, one more time. So my umbrella does its nice thing right now. When I go to the garden, we switch scenes and it just says my umbrella. And if I'm in a place where another rule will match, it says that. Sweet, I think that does it. Stop showing that, show me. Well, that was pretty long, but we got there in the end. I think the code's a bit cleaner, a bit more manageable, and it works. I think it's going to be a lot of fun adding more narrative texture with this extra narration that you can give. It's one more step towards getting where I envision the whole story engine going. Thank you very much. See you next time.